I don't want to give anything an inch because I am afraid of the consequences of giving anyone an inch. That's why I wouldn't apologize for the joke. That's why I resigned from my company instead of apologizing for the joke.
Well, how could you apologize for that? That's so crazy.
Because it's so stupid. First of all, it's a honeymooners, married with children, all in the family level joke, something you'd see on the floor of a CBS writer's room. Yeah. But the point is that I could have probably apologized and groveled and blah, 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 but I'm like, no, because A, I'm not sorry, so that would be a huge lie. B, like, I have to now really recalibrate the way I go about my business with my partners and with the audience because, I didn't have the protections that I thought I would have when the mistake was made. You know what I mean? Like, and that was what hurt me. So I tried to do what I thought was the most principled and character-driven choice, which is be like, this is best for my partners who don't agree with me. This is best for the audience who might not agree with me. It seems like a lot of them do. And this is the best for just everyone moving forward. I'll have other opportunities and other things that I can do.
Now that you've left your company, which was, what was it called? Kind of Funny?
Kind of Funny, yeah.
And what was Kind of Funny?
Kind of Funny was the four of us that founded the company were all at IGN in different respects. And we spun off to just start our own YouTube channel about games and nerd culture and stuff like that, do podcasts. And we found some good success. Most of it crowdfunded on Patreon. And it was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it. But I felt like I needed to leave because I felt like that was the best for everybody.
Well, once that, I mean, how could you not if they turned on you over that stupid fucking joke?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
Not that it's a stupid joke. It was funny.
It's a bad joke.
But I mean, it's not even that bad.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. I looked at it as
I just thought it's stupid, the reaction to it was so fucking stupid.
It was stupid, and I felt like, I wish that things went differently. I wish that, we had a lot of fights behind the scenes. I won't get into all that. I don't think...
Honestly, I think it's good.
I think it's good, too. I felt like I did what was right for them, and I felt like we would have just come to this impasse again. So I was like, let's just pull the Band-Aid off and get this over with.
What's up, Geeks and Gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking about Greg Miller. Who is Greg Miller? Greg Miller is one of the worst people in the entire mainstream games journalist area, by far. And that is a very, very high or low bar, whichever way you want to look at it. But being one of the single worst people in an already horrible group of people is quite the accomplishment. But that's who Greg Miller is. And Greg Miller is a shill. Greg Miller is a coward. Greg Miller is a pathetic piece of garbage. And I'm going to show you exactly who Greg Miller is. Now, just a couple of days ago, he hosted the DICE Awards, the 2025 DICE Awards, and it was live streamed over on IGN, his former employer, who he now has some type of partnership with, because Greg Miller used to work for IGN. Then he left IGN to create his own company with a few other people called Kinda Funny Videos. Kinda Funny was relatively successful for a few years. And then something interesting happened. But we'll get into that here in just a minute. But let's listen to what Greg Miller had to say in his pinned post on Twitter, Happy Valentine's Day, America. Let's listen.
My favorite games, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, is nominated for Online Game of the Year. Get your hands together. Yeah. Thank you, Rod. Of course, that is a game that takes real skill.
It does. Yeah, and I'm not trying to flatter everyone here, but if I know one thing about this audience, is that none of you had to pay someone to play Diablo for you.
It's hard to level up your own characters when you're dismantling democracy.
I feel like we're in good company here, but just in case for the people online, if you get mad at that joke, it's Greg Miller. G-R-E-G.
M-I-L-L-E-R. Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
So Greg Miller's a real tough guy, everybody. He's a real tough guy. He wants everybody to know his name. He's a real tough guy. He can stand up on stage with a bunch of other leftists and say F Elon and F Donald Trump because he's a real tough guy. Now, I made a tweet about this, as a matter of fact, and I said Greg Miller canceled his best friend over a joke. A very, very tame joke. Never forget. So Greg Miller was friends and business partners with a guy named Colin Moriarty, who used to work at IGN as well. They were very good friends. They were roommates. They did a ton of videos together when they were at IGN, and then they co-created Kinda Funny after they both left IGN. And Colin Moriarty did something terrible, ladies and gentlemen. He did something so horrendous that Greg Miller could not stand by his best friend. What could it have been that Colin Moriarty did that was so detrimental that his best friend and business partner literally abandoned him when the cancel mob came for him? This is what Colin Moriarty said. On this social media trend, A Day Without a Woman, Colin made a joke. Peace and quiet. Hashtag A Day Without a Woman. And because of this, Colin was completely canceled by all of the mainstream games journalists, which isn't surprising. But what's sad is that his own best friend, Greg Miller, completely abandoned him in this moment. Everyone was after him because, to be fair, Colin surrounded himself with a bunch of leftists, and this is exactly what happens when you surround yourself with leftists. They're going to eat you alive when you do something as tame as this. We're in 2025 now, and obviously the culture has shifted completely. Could you imagine someone being canceled for this now, considering where the culture has shifted in just a short period of time? But that's neither here nor there. This is insane. But this is who Greg Miller is. And as Yellow Flash tweeted right here, I remember when that went down. I'll never forget that when Greg was fighting cancer, Colin stepped up and helped him with his IGN workload. Signs of a true friend. Then Greg slipped a giant knife into his back over a dad joke. That is 100% accurate right there. This is an appearance on the Michael Malice show where Colin Moriarty talked about the aftermath. Let's listen in really quick.
When I saw a therapist after it all happened,
okay, good.
One of the things I said was, you kind of can't help but take it really personally that no one gives a shit. Like, no one out there who knew you, worked with you, even lived with you, shared a cubicle with you, traveled with you, is being like, whoa, racist? Like, what? So that silence allows things to become quote unquote real. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me most about talking about cancellation is everyone's always like, oh, it doesn't matter. This isn't really happening. And I'm like, it matters to the person who it happened to.
Of course,
and the precedent that it sets. So unfortunately, people not stepping up and maybe saying, protecting me in quotes, maybe had detrimental effects down the line on the next person because no one showed that necessary bravery. That's why it was important for me to stand up immediately and be like, I'm not apologizing. I'm doing something else. I'm still here. I'm still going to work. I'm still going to work hard. I'm going to do the best I can. And, that's it. But I didn't want it to go like that,
Yeah. I mean, there's.
And that just is a testament to the type of people that Colin had himself surrounded with. And I don't know Colin. I've always liked Colin. I disagree with him on a lot of issues, but he seems to be a genuine straight shooter, and I've always liked Colin. Now, when all of this was happening, and this just, again, should show you the type of person that Colin was surrounding himself with. The fact that Dave Rubin was the voice of reason speaks volumes. But this was Colin's appearance on the Dave Rubin show after all of this happened, and he had some very nice words to say to Dave Rubin about how Dave was the only person that had his back when all of this was happening. Here's the clip.
I want to say one thing to you personally, and I've said this to you privately, but I want everyone to know it. When I was out there drowning, you were the first person that lent me your hand, and you treated me, it's bringing tears to my eyes. You and your husband and you treated me like you're my newest friend, and you treated me like you were my oldest friend. When people out there that I've known forever just abandoned me. And thank you.
Well, thank you.
So there you go right there. And again, I want to remind everyone that this tough guy right here, Greg Miller.
G-R-E-G-M-I-L-L-E-R. Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
There you go. So the tough guy, Greg Miller, who couldn't even stand by his own friend over a joke like this. Now, you heard Colin say that racist was thrown in there. It was thrown in there. Right here. Here's a headline right here. International Business Times. Kind of funny. Colin Moriarty resigns after targeting women in racist joke. Insist it's his personal decision. A racist joke. What about this is racist? Absolute insanity. But this is the type of person that Greg Miller is. He is a terrible, terrible person. Kind of Funny is full of leftist pieces of shit that will cancel you. They have gone after their fans. They have gone after their audience if their audience doesn't line up with their political narrative. They've done that plenty of times. Now, as I've said, many people know where I stand politically, but I've said, you don't have to agree with my politics to watch my content. You're welcome to have whatever opinion you want. That's totally fine with me. But Kind of Funny, they've said to their audience, you're not allowed to support us if you support Donald Trump, the misogynist racist. Well, you're welcome over here even if you're not a Trump supporter. Because at the end of the day, only weak, beta, pathetic losers will sit there and tell their own audience that they have to agree with them. Because that is how leftists are. And again, don't know Colin, not really interested to get to know Colin, but the man was done wrong. And Greg Miller, who wants to sit there and puff his chest out and say F Elon and F Trump, and my name's Greg Miller. Well, let's let everybody know who you are. You are a complete and total coward, and you abandoned your best friend over the most tame joke I have ever heard. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.